For our final drawing, we're going to put in the hole that we drilled here for the screw, and we're going to create the little cover cap piece that we're going to create in acrylic to just cover up that joint on the end. So let's go to our drawing of the leg that's here, and the first thing we're going to do is put the 4.5mm hole here. It's in the centre of this cut, 17mm down. To do that, you're going to need to click on the button that says Create Sketch. Once you've done that, you select this front plane. That's what we're drawing on. And we can zoom in a little bit and get a slightly better view of things. Now, you can see there's a sort of a red centre line for us there anyway. I'm going to press C for a circle. And if I pull across here, look at that, we've got that triangle helping us again find the centre of that line. I'm going to click once, oh sorry, no I'm not. I'm going to click the C for circle. I'm going to come down that line that's in the centre, and then I'm going to draw a circle that's 4.5mm. Once I've drawn that, I can see it's in the centre, but I don't know how far apart they are. So I'm going to press D for dimension, and with my D for dimension I can click the circle, I can click that line, and I can have a look. It's telling me, gosh, 15.8 something something something. Well, I want it to be 17, and then enter. And the reason we want it to be 17, if you remember, is because we've got a 35mm piece of material sat behind it, and we wanted to get into the centre of that. So there we are, on the centre line and 17mm down, exactly how you marked it on the piece of wood. Once you've done that, we're going to press the E for extrude button, and then we can select that. Now, because that centre line's running down there, you can see it's actually dividing it into two halves. We'll need to select both halves, and then instead of pulling it this way, which is obviously pulling material out, we're going to push it backwards, and the amount wants to be -12 or more. Doesn't matter if it's more, but at least 12, because that's how thick our material is. Once we've done that, we're going to have a hole running right the way through the centre, just the same as on your actual piece of bamboo plywood. So in the centre, 17mm from that bottom edge there, okay, from there to there. I'm going to click Save and OK, and then when I go onto my assembled drawing, I'm going to find there's some out-of-date parts. I'm going to click to update those, and we should just put that little hole in the ends here. So if I click onto my right hand view and zoom out a little bit, there you can see we've got the hole exactly where we want it to be. Okay, so the next thing is to draw this cover part that we're going to have. That's going to have a flat top, a shape which you need to decide on, and it's going to have a hole, and the position of that hole is going to be important. So we can click Save on this one and update that, and then I'm going to start a fifth and final drawing. To make a start of the drawing, we can choose a rectangle, let's say. I'm going to choose that face to draw on, and I'm going to draw a rectangle that starts on my origin and is at least the width of my cutout, which is 12. So let's make it, say, 20 or 30 even, in that direction. Let's make it this way, at least more than 52. And the reason it wants to be at least more than 52 is because 52 is the distance from the top there to the centre of our circle. If you remember, this part is 35, this part is 17. 35 and 17 will give us our 52. So let's have a look at this one. So we've dimensioned that as 30 that way, that's okay, and that as 70. We can change those later if we want. I'm going to put a centre line in that's going to run from there and is going to come down 52. The reason, again, that's where I want the centre of my circle to be. I'm going to click C for circle. I'm going to start there and I'm going to draw out 4.5. It's 4.5 because on our other drawing it's 4.5. There we go, back to that. These lines, if they're starting to sort of cause problems, we can get rid of ones that aren't so important. Once we're happy that that measurement is 52, we can always select it, delete it. We can select and delete our centre circle if we want. We can select and delete that. It's entirely up to you if you find it easier to keep things clear and clean. What I'm then going to do is draw the shape that I want my piece here to be. Now you've got a range of options in here in terms of arcs, circles, rectangles, lines, ellipses, entirely up to you what you do. Let's just keep it pretty simple for the time being, and you can obviously experiment as you go along. Let's say that I turn that into a circle and I turn that into a circle. I can then use my T for trim tool and delete those parts away. I don't personally think this is all that attractive a solution, but hey, it could be. So there's my profile. I'm then going to press E for extrude. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to extrude it by 3 millimeters because 3 millimeters is the thickness of a piece of acrylic. I'm then going to come into modify and go into appearance. I'm going to find plastic from this menu and I'm going to find, let's have a nice glossy green. Drag and drop that on there. That is my end cap that I'm going to create. I forgot to save it at the beginning, so let's do that now. I'm not setting a good example. So John Wilson, stool, end cap. Make sure it's going in the same place as all your other drawings, otherwise you're going to get things a bit muddled. There we are, that's closing into there. I'm now going to open my assembled drawing, or my final drawing, and into this the process is going to be just the same as before. Insert into current design. Once that drops in there, let's have a look and see what the angle or position of it all is. It looks like it needs to be rotated somewhat. Where is it? There it is. Let's find there. So we can see that we need to rotate that by 90 degrees in that plane. When that's done to 90 degrees, I can click enter. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to choose part of this circle here to align with part of this circle here. Let's just zoom in and make sure we've got a really good look. Again, look at which side of that hole you're selecting, whether it's the inside or it's the outside. Now I want the inside of that piece to match up with the, press and hold your shift, with the outside of that piece. Let's try assemble and join, and it's going to put that in place and hopefully neatly cover up my end cutout I've got. These lines you can see are just parts of our sketch, of our drawing, so we can actually take those out. They are, that blue line you can see is part of this sketch. So if we just come on to that sketch, which is open on this window, you can see those lines because the sketches are illuminated. If I click that off, the sketch lines will disappear. I can update that, click OK. They'll disappear now off of that thumbnail. And when I come back to my final drawing and I update that, they should also disappear off of that one. Okay. It obviously needs one more piece in it, and the final piece is the other end cap. So I'm going to go insert into current design again. Can't see where that's disappeared to, somewhere around the other side I'm guessing. Yep, there it is. I need to just rotate that again by its 90 degrees. Maybe slide it down towards the end where it's actually going to be used. Click OK, and then I can turn that around, hopefully, get a better view of things, zoom in, and as before, make sure I've got the right parts of those circles. So I'm going to escape from my orbit command. I'm going to get the inside of that circle to the outside of that circle, assemble, join. Oh, that didn't work. Let's cancel that. So I've obviously selected the wrong part of something. Let's try again. Let's make sure we're getting the inside of that circle. You could turn it round so you're seeing the absolute back of it. Might be a better idea. Shift and hold while selecting that part. Assemble, join. There we go. Click OK. Always remember to do your click OK. And then from our different views, remember we can do our function F6 to make things the actual size. And there you go. We've now got those end caps in place, which are tidying up, giving a little bit more interest to the design, and they're doing a really good job of covering up our cutout. They'll be held in place, of course, by exactly the same screw that holds this piece to this piece. The screw now is passing through that hole, through that, and into that. And that is pretty much where I'd like you to get to. Okay. The obvious shape of that can be whatever you want. If you go back into this and modify, as soon as you save and then come onto your drawing and update, it's also going to change here. Okay, good luck. Can't wait to see what you do.